Disco dancer. I am a disco dancer.
A very good afternoon to you. This is not Mithun Chakrathi, but his body alike, younger version, Dipu. Welcome to the studio, Dipu. Hi.
Good afternoon, Doctor.
Come on.
Yes. Balo.
Onek Balo.
Onek Balo.
Tell me, you're quite a character, you know. I like you. Do you know why I like you? You speak as it is. You're not scared of nobody. A lot of people hate you. And I love that. You know, nobody kicks a dead dog. If everybody likes you, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah.
But if people hate you, you have a spat-on thing about George, what's his name? Galloway. You know, you have your own personality. You're not just stuck in the Labour Party or the Bengali group or the Musalman group. Or you're yourself. Like I say, how are you such a personality?
I'm not going to be obsessive over a party. You know, I believe in the Labour Party.
You do.
I don't believe in everything in the Labour Party. I don't believe some of the things they've done in the past. And I don't believe in some of the things they probably do in the future.
But you're not proud of Tony Blair, for instance.
No, I hate Tony Blair.
But this is the thing, you know, despite being in a party, you still have a personality.
Do you know what? There's too many politicians are trying their best to become politicians. And they're losing themselves. You are elected by the people, and before elections, people are human beings.
Yes.
You know, before being a politician, you're human beings, and people lose that once they become politicians. I'll actually give you an example. About 3 years ago, there was this young guy, a couple of years younger than me. He just became a councillor in Newcastle, and you know, very humble, nice guy. And I said to him, "Look, somebody like me is always going to be on the fringes of the Labour Party because I speak my mind. But I'm not going to be arrogant about it. You know, what is the truth is truth. I'm never arrogant. Every night when I go home, I reflect and think, have I done anything arrogant today? Because one thing I do hate is arrogance. So anyways,
because that blocks you from people. It really blocks you.
I do not like arrogance. I hate arrogance.
I think this is ahankar.
I do not like that. So I said to him, look, you know, don't lose yourself in politics. Be who you are. Don't lose, because too many times people are losing themselves in politics. And he understood. A couple of years later, I see the same guy so obsessive with the Labour Party, so obsessive about politicians.
He forgot himself. He sold his soul to the Labour Party.
It's how he can develop himself in the party, how he can come up the ranks. And to be honest,
so he became a professional politician.
These people never last long.
Because it's not coming from the heart, it's coming from the brain.
I'll give you an example. Tony Blair is probably one of the most hated figures around. Some people still like him. A lot of people still like him, but he's hated for what he's done. But people like Tony Benn, who died last year, a real
another
socialist.
Tony, but completely different level of person.
In the past he was probably in the cabinet and high ranking, but then when his views changed, he was on the fringes. But people remember Tony Benn, even after he's dead, for the right reasons. Too many people, Doc, losing themselves in politics. You know, you see all these debates on Facebook. I try to stay away from a lot of these debates on Facebook. Green Party.
But yesterday you said, I can't do the zip wire because my nail is hurting. You are bloody funny, like. My nail is hurting. So I'm getting altitude sickness. I mean, 18,580 feet is different from 350 feet, like. Because, see, if you lose your sense of humor, your ego comes up. If you can make a joke of yourself, which is something very English. In the East, we are very kind of, oi, ki bolcho, hey, khamosh.
Yeah. Doc, you know, as I said, you know, too many people losing themselves. Be who you are. So I think a lot of times I am looked upon by the inner circle as a problem.
Good. Badhayo, congratulations, Mubarak.
It doesn't bother me. There was a time when I used to, you know, when I first got elected, so I have to please everybody. Now I just think, look,
I am me.
I need to do what is right. And even if that makes me a hated figure, I am probably one of the most hated figure in probably the Northeast. I'm not exaggerating.
Can I tell you something? It's not hate, it's jealousy.
I know. And
Jalte hain. There are a lot of people on Facebook who are always having spat with you. I won't name names. But they are small people. They are Facebook warriors.
Exactly.
Real life mein to kuch karte nahi hai. They never do anything. They're just sitting on Facebook 24 hours a day.
Walk in my shoes for one day and you'll see what it's like. I'm hated by the far right, the likes of the EDL, the fascists. But I think, you know, I'm happy that I know I get a lot of respect from people who understand me and people in my community, in my ward. I get a lot of respect.
Come in. Have you met Risaria?
No, but I have spoke to her.
Hi, Risaria. Come on in. Come on in.
Hi, good to meet you.
Sit,
Take a
sit
seat.
yourself down.
I just heard what you were saying and I wanted to come in.
Come in.
Oh, come on, join us.
And I
Put headphones on.
I did call you back, and your phone kept engaged. That was last week.
So Risaria is a lady who's very keen on world peace. She ran the World Peace Conference last year, and she was one of the few. Yes.
So did I offend you when that's why you come in?
Well, no, it's just when you're saying you're hated, it feels like that's so negative. I mean, when you said about jealousy,
Yes.
I think jealousy is a good emotion in that it helps people move to a higher level.
Yes.
Because they're not stagnant.
Yeah.
So you're actually getting people to move and to move up into
Look, you know,
action.
A journalist from the Guardian, Gary Young. I don't know if you heard of Gary Young. He's a journalist for the Guardian, and he's an activist, race and humanity activist, human rights activist. And when Barack Obama got elected as a president, or when he got elected, Gary Young wrote an article saying Barack Obama needs to pull while he's climbing. Now, what he means
Pull
by
while he's
that,
climbing, when you're going up the ladder.
what he means by that is it's quite unique that a black person has become the president of America. It was a shock to the system. It was a shock to many people. But at the same time, he's got responsibility. Yes, he's a president for all communities, but people look up to him from the black community. So it's important for him not to just get there at the top and say, that's it.
I've arrived.
First black person. I've left a legacy, and not bring others with them.
But the same holds for Chionwara and you.
Of course. And
It doesn't hold for David Stockdale. I hope he's listening.
David Stockdale is a great guy.
No, but he's not black.
He's not black. So it's important for people like us is to pull others while we are climbing.
Including white people.
Including white people.
Yes.
Anyone.
Or to inspire them.
Inspire them. But no, at the end of the,
And I think you do that.
I don't know if I inspire people.
Well, look at Newcastle Unites.
Yeah.
You inspired them.
You got the
to
biggest cheer
3,500.
because you thanked the Pegida for uniting us, which is such a noble sentiment. So, negative things bring out positive things. So, Dipu, where does all this come from? You are quite unique. You went to Auschwitz. You're a Muslim and you went to Auschwitz. Normally, Muslims are taught to hate Jews. You may not like hearing this, my dear listeners, but you're taught to hate the Jews. I've heard so many Muslim people hating. I've even seen the picture of a guy, Muslim guy, in Madame Tussauds standing next to Hitler and saying, Heil Hitler.
The thing is, I think this is the biggest problem in society we see today is, divisions. As a Muslim, we believe that God created tribes, God created different people, from different regions, different countries. As a Muslim, I believe in that because so we can identify each other. But let me make this clear: an atheist, an atheist. So we believe that we are the creation of God, and Adam is our forefather. Adam is, the first man on earth. So we believe we are all part of one family. Okay. Now, an atheist will say, "Well, we don't believe in God," and I respect that. But they believe in the Big Bang theory, or they believe in one atom. So they believe that the human creation or the creation of the world was created with one atom or something. So that, if you think about it, so we are created by one atom. So if an atheist believes we're created by something, we believe we created something. So, where's the difference here?
So, but how does that tie up with
linguistics?
Exactly.
Words.
It's words. So an atheist, I respect an atheist. I might not agree with them, but I respect their views. I'm a Muslim, but we believe that we are created by one atom. An atheist might believe from Big Bang.
So one atom, one Adam. What's the difference?
Exactly, one atom and one atom. So basically, going back to Auschwitz, are they not human beings? Or are they not? Do they not bleed the same as me? Do they not eat the same as me? Do they not look the same as me? Do they not have hairs the same as me? Yeah. And that's the biggest problem, is that we divide. So how
can you generically hate all Jews?
You can't hate Jews. You can't hate any people.
So you became the chairman, wasn't it?
I am still the chairman.
But there was a lot of ruckus around it.
Yeah, there's a lot of controversy. As I said, I'm one of the most hated people. And the reason why I'm hated is because I speak up.
I really want to challenge that, because I think if you start saying that about yourself,
it becomes true.
It becomes true. And it was like you said about Tony Blair. And we were talking about this around dinner last night, and we were saying, I said that with politicians, they're always the great hope when they come into power, in the way Obama was. The last time I was politically active, I happened to be in America during the first election for Obama.
Wow.
And I'm a writer, and the script consultant I was with said, I hope you don't mind, but I need to put some posters up for Obama. So we're literally hammering stakes into the ground along the roadside for Obama.
Right.
And then you suddenly get the turn. And I think we need to acknowledge that they're doing a good job. And
we never look at the good side.
We don't look at the good side.
Yeah,
and I think what's happening is the political parties, like you said, they're becoming much of a muchness.
Yeah.
We were saying, somebody said to me last night, do you vote? And I said, well, yes, I do, but I haven't this last time because I just didn't feel moved to choose anyone. No. And I think that we need.
So, what have you, dipu.ahad, to say to someone as uninterested in politics as Risaria? You're talking to a potential voter.
Look, people have lost confidence in politicians. It's before the last election where all the expense in a scandal.
Yes.
And you have to understand that. You have to understand why people don't trust politicians. The politicians are all the same because if you look at Cameron, if you look at Clegg, if you look at Ed Miliband, they're from a certain community.
They just wear a different tie.
Exactly. And you're very right, they're wearing different ties. So people have lost, they're not interested in politics. So a lot of young people will be following or interested in the Russell Brand theory or do not vote. But for me, it's important for you to vote. I tell you why. I think this election is quite different. Last election, obviously, I was still a city councillor. And even myself, I was disillusioned with a lot of the mainstream politicians, the MPs, what have you. I think it's different this time. The reason why, and I'm not going to come here promoting the Labour Party, I'm not here to do that, but we have seen, in my world particularly, you see the increase in food banks. You see the poverty. You see the litter. You see, people...
Just locally, here in Benwell itself, never mind the world.
And for someone like me who's a local politician who tries...
And a local guy, you live here.
I live in ELSWICK. It's so sad that I can't really make a change.
And yet we can make such a...
I can't make a change on the level of I could...
Without entering politics, without having Risaria's vote.
But it's happening because it's like my housemates are very active in the FENHAM litter campaign.
Through the greening of Wingrove. So it's happening at a grassroots level, and this is what is needed. It has to... So I'm hearing Risaria say to Dipu, don't despair.
Yeah.
Let the buggers hate you.
Oh, no, they don't hate you. They don't hate you.
I think I've said they're jealous.
Don't keep
they are
saying
envious. They're envious because you're doing something and they want to do it. Pull them along. Invite them.
As I said, I used to react. Before I used to feel down, but now I think I'll go...
How old are you?
I'm 35.
For 35, you're pretty wise, I wish I was that wise.
My upbringing...
How are you so wise?
It's life experience, to be honest.
So you've been battered a lot.
Of course I have.
And that makes you either finished or better person.
I'll tell you, if you give me 5 minutes.
Sure. Tell us.
My dad, I'm a son of 6 sisters, one brother of 6 sisters. 2 brothers of 6 sisters. My other brother.
Why do you ignore your other brother just because his hairstyle is not as good as yours?
I would say one brother.
Why? No, you have a brother.
Yeah, because he lives somewhere else, and but he's my brother.
Okay.
I love him
so 2 brothers and 5 sisters.
I don't know why I would say that.
You're one of 8.
Well, yeah. So I'm one of 8. So basically, when we were young, my dad had a business and what have you, and later on, we went to Bangladesh for 13 months, and things changed for us. My dad remortgaged the house a few times.
So things went bad financially.
Yeah, exactly. And we came back, and then obviously the remortgage was very high. He had a business. He lost his business. All his friends turned against him.
Yeah.
I was 15, and then obviously we were living in extreme poverty. I'm talking about, real borderline, extreme poverty. My dad then had a stroke when I was 15, and I had to start earning.
So you had to grow up at the age of 15, like Gautam Buddha, when he saw pain in life, he grew up.
It was such a difficult period. It was, as a child, the arguments. I used to listen to my parents. So my dad used to come from work. This is before he had a stroke. We came back from Bangladesh in 1991. We stayed there for 13 months. And that's where everything was destroyed. So every night my dad used to go to work. He used to work in someone else's takeaway because he lost his business.
And that is quite difficult, isn't it? To be the boss and suddenly you're serving somebody else.
I used to, every night they used to have an argument. So my sister, we used to sleep in, my dad and them used to sleep in one room, and my mum and my younger sister, another sister. At that time, we only had 4 sisters. And I used to sleep in another room with my other sisters. And then every night I used to stay awake
Just panicking and
panicking. It was
feeling
actually-
the pain.
I've never actually discussed this because
No, I'm so glad you
it
open
was
your heart.
actually as a child, this is a 10, 11-year-old child, I used to have palpitations.
Tak, 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 your heart.
My parents going to argue tonight because every night.
So
we used
it's
to
like a
argue.
foreboding
And I used to put my ears next to the wall.
to listen.
As soon as I hear that my dad and my mom snoring, that's when I used to go to sleep.
Oh my God.
And this was 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
I can never forget that.
And I'm so glad you've said this on air.
It was a real sad moment, and we were extreme poverty at the time, and there was a real sad moment. Anyway, so my dad had a stroke. All his friends turned against him. All his relatives turned against him. There was obviously in the community, it was a close-knit community at that time. There was accusations against my sister who was going to run away with another guy. All that had an effect on us. Then my dad had a stroke when I was 15, 16. And then I had to be I had to be the bread.
The man of the house.
But the great thing was my sister, Reshman, was a big help. She said, Dipu, you do whatever you can, work. But then at the same time, I'll be working as well. And we'll kill I think it was £12,000 debt we had at that time. So she worked and she killed all the debt while I worked and paid the house.
So you were running the house, she was getting rid of the
Great
debt.
team.
Yeah. And
Great team.
Wonderful.
1996, 1997, we got evicted from our house. So we got basically kicked out. We were on the street. So we had to find a rented accommodation. Went to a rented accommodation. So my sister was a big support for me. She goes, Dipu, I want you to go to college and make something yourself. Don't worry about me. I'll support the family. I'll kill the debts off. So then I had an opportunity to go to college and at the same time work in the restaurants in the evenings. But then I got into youth work, and then I started doing youth work during the day on a voluntary basis.
Is that where you sort of
that's my
started channeling your pain and knowledge into other human beings you're helping? Okay.
And in the evenings, I used to work in restaurants. During the day, I do my volunteer youth work. And then at the age of 20, I got a full-time job for Case of Council as a manager of a project.
Didn't you also?
That's just in a nutshell.
But you also got
brilliant.
No, but you haven't heard half of it. He got a house, and suddenly the helicopters are detecting that there's red hot stuff going on, and I don't mean red light area. I mean hashish.
All right.
Tell her.
So,
you survived.
That was after I got elected. So that was the beginning of my poverty, extreme poverty. The arguments, it was a real difficult period because we lost all our friends. Everybody turned their
walked away.
Everybody walked away. Nobody supported us, and that was the saddest moment as a child. Going to
see
school,
a negative side
8 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the morning, concentrate. We used to get 20 pence bus fare. 20 pence that time,
and that's
20
all.
pence bus, that's it. And we had to walk back from school
because you couldn't afford the other.
Well, that 20 pence was walk in the morning and come back, and with that 20 pence we used to buy a flapjack because my dad wasn't
in pocket.
He wasn't on benefits, and he was quite stubborn because if I'm working, we're not going to be on benefits. So he used to work.
Very principled.
So basically, we didn't get free school meals. We used to get that 20 pence. With that 20 pence,
give you a flapjack.
We used to get flapjack. So this was, the extreme poverty we went through. So it was a very difficult period. And then obviously, so one thing you have to know that got me very passionate about people, but it made me very shrewd as well. It made me very strong as a person because I trust Dokan, and I've got my friends. I've got my circle of friends. But
can I show you something where your trust comes from?
It's two fat blokes.
No, don't demean it. This is Risaria, the tomb of Abraham, of all the Abrahamic faiths. How many people are there? Dipu, Shumel Rahman, another close friend of his, and a good friend of mine as well. And there's a disabled man and me filming. Where there should be millions of Jews, Christians, Muslims coming, because this is Abraham's tomb. This is not just. And look at the sadness of it. There's two fat blokes, as he says. So this is the tragedy of today's religion, that we hate each other. We use religion to hate people, not to love our own religion. And that I find very, 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 very sad. But if you had a Muslim name, they would... How long were you interrogated on the ingoing?
4.5 hours this time.
4.5 hours on the way in?
Last year, 2013, I was interrogated for 4 hours. This year I was interrogated for 4.5 hours. Shumel and them were interrogated for about 3 hours.
Yes.
So I was interrogated.
What do they ask you? Why are you here?
Aggressive. Why are you here? What are you doing here? We know all about you. they knew all about me. They said, look, we know about you coming.
Well, you're not shy on Facebook or YouTube or anything.
And, you know,
you don't hide anything.
So they said, then they look on my Facebook, on my on the internet, all the Facebook, all my Gaza campaigns.
Because
you had on the media and so
which I was filming.
Okay, so you've been attacking us Israel. I goes, no, I've been attacking the Israeli government. Oh, that's the same thing. You are a threat to our community. You're a threat to us. And they're very arrogant. We're going to deport you. He goes, all right, deport us. Then they said, so what I did is on my phone, I used Shamel's phone to deactivate my Facebook account.
He was deactivating everything.
Five minutes later, they come along and they say, you deactivate your account.
You're that smart. We are smarter.
So then they said, activate your account on your phone. I goes, well, how much? It's going to cost me £20 to, go on the internet here. Activated. I go, look here. You said you're going to deport me, so deport me. I'm not going to activate my phone. Deport me. Deport me.
Go on.
So I was there. Then they took me to another room where everyone's going to get deported, just about get deported. Then they interrogated him again.
So how did David Stockdale get you out?
David Stockdale, I think, made a nuisance of himself.
When does he not?
They're what we call kickstarters.
And this time when I went, I actually felt protected because of David Stockdale. He was a real support for me. Somebody who really fought and spoke out, wasn't bothered about the Israelis, and release him now. I heard him screaming at the immigration guys, say, release him now. Speak to the
British High Commission.
British High Commission. He really made a noise. I think they got sick and said, look, go,
too much bother. Just fly in the ointment.
They were going to deport me. They did say they were getting everything ready, the cell and everything ready to keep me in for 24 hours. They were very close to deport me. But David made a real noise. And next thing you know, they threw the passport at me. So, what? Go.
But didn't you also say to them, I'm British, and they say you can't be British, you're not white?
Yeah, they said that. I said, look, I'm the chair of the Holocaust Memorial Day. It says, you can't, you're not a Jew.
So that is the thing about Dipu, you break all the rules.
Brilliant.
And I think people who don't have courage, I admire you. I do similar things, but not at your age. At your age, I was a timid, boring GP. So I admire the fact that at a young age, you realize you got your own spirit.
And that it doesn't feel like you're breaking the rules out of defiance. It's like
because it's the right thing to do.
Yes, it's out of a sense of right action.
May I play a break, and then we'll carry on.
Focus on Newcastle Unites. And I was a bit hesitant because it felt that there was a lot of political stuff. But hearing you before I came in, I thought, actually, you sound like a great politician because you're not too attached to the politics. Yeah. And This is the idea that for World Peace Day is to raise awareness and to make it a celebration, and that's what I felt you did.
So the positivity.
So the positivity
and let the negativity
out.
And the questions melt away. Positivity.
Create that positivity, and I think you have attracted that, and it's a beautiful thing to see. And in fact, I want to talk to you because I've had a letter from America because. The woman I'm talking to there works with Barbara Marx Hubbard, who's an American visionary, and in the 80s she ran as vice president of America on the ticket that she would create a peace room using the resources of the war room.
Can you hear this? Pentagon, and they're going to have a peace room in the Pentagon.
This was her campaign. She's not given up on this idea, but she's a real visionary. And last year, I was chasing her to come over because I'd done a course and she inspired me to do this, to raise awareness on World Peace Day. And out of this has come a great organisation, World Peace Tyneside, with people like Christine Peake and Ron and Chris Reynolds and Nancy
Booth?
I've forgotten Nancy.
Nancy Booth? No.
Piet,
okay.
That's it. And I just feel that... But what we did was really wonderful.
Because it has nothing to do with Pegida, Digida, nobody.
And because we had a lot of people participating, but it feels like you have brought the people together in another way. And so Angel, she's called Reverend Angel, wrote and said, if this guy can get 3,500 with Newcastle Unites, I'm sure he'll attract 1,000 as an audience on World Peace Day, and Barbara will come and speak.
Oh. Do you follow? You're a catalyst, not a Catholic.
No.
You're a catalyst.
look, I don't see myself.
No, but we do.
And that's
fine.
so good, because you don't need.
You don't put yourself on a pedestal and have a halo. But we do respect you a lot.
I don't have a halo. I have a quiff.
Can you see your hair there?
You got a quiff.
My quiff is my halo. But anyways, I mean, I think is Newcastle United was a combination of people. It's not just me. Everyone did their bit.
Yeah.
And
all right. What do you think of Dipu?
What do I think of Dipu?
Yeah, he's standing for elections.
I don't think he's what?
He's what? You're a funny man. You are.
Anyway, I'm stood at Central Station about to see the in-laws off back to Liverpool.
Congratulations.
I just wanted to say well done to you and for a lovely show, and keep up the good work, and look forward to seeing you both very, very shortly as we all risk.
Sorry, I haven't been around much recently. I've been so busy. So
and you got a bad nail, haven't you?
Yeah, I've got a bad fingernail, so that's why I can't. And that's why I can't do the zip wire. And I kind of got altitude sickness last year, so this year I'll give it a miss.
Oh, lovely.
Okay. See you soon. Okay. Take care. Thanks for the call. That's Ammar Mirza. But before I forget, Safat, that boy, tell us your story. It's a very important story.
So basically, just going back, I think it's a combination. And I really do appreciate, it's quite humbling that, people do appreciate me. And it's, but my fear is that, can I keep it up? And that is the biggest challenge.
Yeah,
yes.
That's
We are there.
ego. Yeah. And this is, I had an incident this week, and I was thinking, let me check out some talks on ego. So I listened to Abraham Hicks, and it was just saying humility is a false premise.
Yes.
Because, we are given gifts, and it's our job in the world
to share.
And
if you don't share,
and to expand and become more expansive people. And I'm lucky because I'm actually meeting and working with people who are like that. And when you meet people who are really in that energy, in that space,
you forget this stuff about humility.
It's
humility is fear of other people's egos, man.
Yes.
True.
I'm not humble at all.
And fear of failing, and this is why I'm. I rang the Sage up, and I've had to book it in my business name. But I think,
and you're not such a big businessman or woman, whatever.
I said it is a small business.
Well, that's really nice. I mean, I think that's actually helped me, and I do appreciate that because there's always this fear that I'm not going to fail my community. I'm not going to fail people, and that fear is constantly in the back of my mind. And that's why I never appreciate or never celebrate if I've done something well. I never actually acknowledge it.
And that is something we all need.
Okay,
to
Dipu, do something for me. Stretch your arms out like that.
Yes.
Do, please.
Oh, yes.
All right, and say, I love me. Say it.
I can't
say it.
No,
say it. Say it. Okay, I'll do it to myself.
Okay,
put your
arms out. Thank you, Dipu.
So you're receiving praise with open arms.
I'm not. Look, a person who says they're humble are the least of the humble.
Yeah. Exactly.
And I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say I'm a humble person. I'm going to act humble. Politicians are not humble.
No.
But I'm not. And a lot of times, I do joke around with things. But I think because of my past, because of
you've had a lot of pain.
I'm a bit suspicious when people praise me.
Yes.
If Doc does it and yourself does it, I know you're quite genuine, but others are not. But
so there's a fear that ungenuine. Okay.
I know I'm repeating myself, but I doubt I don't think you listened to Wednesday's show, did you?
I didn't.
That's okay.
No, but you're welcome on a Wednesday show. He's the kind of guy we need.
Come on a Wednesday.
Just join in. Any Wednesday, walk in.
Yes, just walk in.
You'll be amazed. We get Skype from
Norway.
Yes, I've heard bits of it this week, and then you got the connection wasn't very good.
Oh yeah, that was with
Ruud
in the Netherlands.
Netherlands, that's right.
See, so you do listen in.
Yeah.
You do like Skype,
Yeah.
Anyways, I am Safat.
So, tell about Safat.
So the next big campaign is I am Safat campaign. Right.
Safat is a 12-year-old boy.
11-year-old boy, Safat.
Tell us.
And basically, Doc and Sandeep are going to do an hourly advert for Spice FM. So if you can take a lead on this.
With pleasure.
I was approached by a Bangladeshi family about three weeks ago. with regards to Safat. Well, Safat has died. Safat and his brother, marriage, came to this country. Marriage is 2011 now, and Safat was 8 when he died. He died last month. Now, they came to this country with their father, mother, and Safat and marriage. They came to this country because their father was an overseas student. Very intelligent. He got his doctorate here. But when they went back to Bangladesh for a short break, I think it was in 2008, Safat developed, he became poorly. The hospital in Bangladesh diagnosed with him with something, and then they came back to this country. Safat became more poorly, and then they diagnosed him with an extreme or very severe form of cancer, which was affecting his face. So they obviously wanted treatment in this country because Bangladesh misdiagnosed him. And obviously the best treatment he could get is in this country. What happened was there was a lot of discussion with the father and mother, a lot of arguments, and the father wanted to pursue his career. He abandoned the children and went back to Bangladesh.
Oh, I see. So he got his doctorate here, but his future was in Bangladesh. But his child's future to live was here.
Yeah. But by that time, it expired. The visa had expired. So the solicitor put a few applications in for human rights, for
the child
Safat,
is dying.
For Safat,
Yes.
It was rejected twice. Now, Safat died last month of meningitis, and because his immune system was so
with the cancer treatment and all,
he eventually died of meningitis. He was an exceptional student. He got Brave Heart Awards. He was super intelligent.
Some television lady has a picture with him on Facebook.
Exactly. He was loved by the school, very popular, but very intelligent.
In Wingrove, just here, school.
Wingrove, Westgate
Hill Primary. Yeah.
So his son died Safat died last month. Now the immigration are saying, well, Safat's died, we are going to deport the mother and marriage. Now, this is where the serious bit comes into.
So the other brother and mother will be sent back to Bangladesh.
Marriage is a super intelligent child, very popular. All he knows is the UK.
He came at a tiny age, isn't it?
Yeah, the father's abandoning them, and if they go back, there's issues. But the main issue here is marriage is still mentally traumatized. He's getting counseling from the school. He's really affected by the death of his younger brother, Safat. Marriage is because they were very close. And
does he talk at all?
He's lost a lot of confidence. Marriage,
he does
talk, and he's very sad, but very intelligent kid. Now the issue here is two things. The school, I think it's only right because he's brought up in this country, all his friends in this country. He's an 11-year-old. He knows nothing else but this country.
But Newcastle, really.
If he is deported, I think that is against human rights. And the second thing for the mother and the child, which is quite disgraceful from the Home Office, is if marriage and his mother are deported, they will never have access
to the grave of Safat.
Do you have a lawyer?
Yes, the solicitor is leading on this.
Who's the solicitor?
Latif solicitor.
Okay. Speak to them. They're very good people.
No, I was thinking, you spoke to Usha Sood.
Usha Sood is
Am I right on that? I'm sorry, I have to go by one.
Usha Sood is a barrister who wears a sari.
This is her speciality, these cases. She's in Nottingham, and I love her name. You are Sood.
That's fantastic.
And she's. Did she get a result on the case?
She's connected them with people in Punjab. Great. She's connected with India.
She is brilliant.
So there's that's fun. I will definitely get in touch with her. So the solicitor's behind it, and I'll ask the solicitor to get in touch.
Yeah.
So then
You've got a number, haven't you?
I've got a number. I have Latif's number. I know Latif very well myself.
We started a petition.
Okay. This is coming together,
In 2-3 days, we've already got about 1,600 signatures on the petition online.
Yeah.
So it's I Am Safat campaign.
So make a bulleted point thing, and I'll just do the ad. By the time I get the whole team of spice ready, time just gets wasted. I'll make it myself.
Okay, I'll do that. And then second thing is, so there's the advert, and is
what about a Facebook page?
It was in the front page of Newcastle's Evening Chronicle today.
Yes.
So if you buy the Evening Chronicle, it's in the front page of the Chronicle.
Okay, I'll get that.
That with regards to this case, so it's so it's getting a lot of media attention.
And she can sort it.
And I'm leading on this, so I think as a human being, it's only right to support this family.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I think she'd be brilliant to
look at the mother and the son. The father has abandoned them.
Yeah.
The little child through death has abandoned them. So out of 4 people, only 2 are left. It's like the life of Pi.
Yes.
They're left with a boat with no paddle in the middle of the ocean called England. So if you don't help them, I mean,
and we need to support.
And you know that woman. Yes. What respect will that woman have in Bangladesh, which is a very hierarchical? Oh, your husband doesn't even care. Who are you? So she'll be treated badly there by her in-laws and everyone. I mean, I'm talking from my experience of India and Bangladesh, Pakistan. So she has no life there. If she can make a life here with her other son, she got some redeeming features in her life. The husband's gone off with he needed his degree. He's done it. Good luck to him.
I think this is what we were talking about the other day, that Newcastle, I feel is a fractal of peace. You know, what we're doing here is like a template for peace. We're not there's lots of places like us all over the world, but I think it's just this is why we're wanting to make a documentary to show this.
Newcastle City Council have called Newcastle City of Sanctuary.
Yeah. Yeah, but that sounds like you're having to to hide from something.
And I think sometimes, like, there was the Peace Walk, Newcastle City for Peace.
Yeah, but that's just a walk for once a year.
For me, that's the biggest problem, and that's my issue.
I totally am with you.
Don't make it gimmicky.
Yeah.
No,
don't make it a gimmick.
Exactly.
Don't just write words.
So on Safat, what more can we do? And then we'll talk about
an advert. You need to start an advert. The petition itself, you know, the link I sent you with all the details. Yes. That's got all the information you just need to get.
But you know, I am very happy to go to his grave and film it. When I do something, I put my heart into it. I'll take me to his grave. I'll film that. If the mother is willing to talk, I'll film her. If the child is willing to talk, I'll talk to him.
Do it.
I mean, I love helping people like that. I mean, if we don't help, you know, in Hindi we say, "Doobte ko tinka ka sahara." When you're drowning, even a matchstick is enough.
Yeah.
I want to be that matchstick. I mean, I like helping people in these situations, and you are the same. Because it's all right to talk politics all the time. If you haven't helped a real human being.
Maybe tomorrow we can go. And,
okay.
You know, and we'll take it from there.
Yeah.
If you want Safat's brother Marriage to come along. But are you going to put...
What do you call him? Marriage? Is Miraj, no?
Marriage. I don't know how...
Marriage sounds like the mother's marriage.
Divna.
Allah. Divna.
Basically, but... and you're going to put an hour advert on Spice FM, am I right?
Yes, I'll make the advert myself.
Okay.
You and I can make it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll meet up. We'll make an advert out.
No, I think you should.
Okay, I'm happy. I've led so many campaigns and nothing to do with my religion, my country. They are people who need help, you know. Children don't have a religion. They are bachas.
Yeah.
And can you imagine the pain of a 11-year-old bacha?
Why if you get Safat's brother Marriage to say a few words as well?
Yes.
And then you both do together.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yes. That will be real. Okay, I'll just play a break and then we'll move on from there. 2 twins, no?
I've got twins.
What are the names?
Kids now.
How old are they now?
So Sophia is 6.5. 6.5, yeah. Umar is 2.5.
6.5, 2.5,
and I've got
3 months old.
2 twins, 5 months old.
5 months old. Okay.
2 boys, Ilyas. So Isaac and Ilyas.
Okay. Isaac and Ilyas. I and I. Okay. Again, it's interesting. Jo wada kya nibhana padega. Padega looks like Pagida. Nibhana Pagida. Gao, Sad Gao. Let's hear your beautiful voice.
My voice is not beautiful today.
And you got a bad fingernail.
And a bad fingernail. And probably the fear of altitude sickness.
But do you not think that humor kills ego? If you can laugh at yourself, not at other people.
I always make a joke of myself.
Yeah, you are a joke.
So, can I not if people want to see me as a joker or Boris Johnson, I'm not a Boris Johnson. I think the problem with politicians is as I said, they're too focused on becoming politicians and they lose the human side.
And they get their face touched.
And people like to see
a real person.
A real person.
So when Risaria came and talked to you, she told me about a few weeks, I want to meet Dipu. I said, okay. But he's very busy. I said, there will be a time he'll come. And there you are. And so I think she heard and she just walked in. Fantastic. I like that about community radio, that, you know, it's free for all. Ajao.
And anyone can walk in. That's very important.
Yeah. I don't lock the door. Why lock the door? It is the community's radio. It's not my show.
I love Spice FM. I love Spice.
It's just in the right place. And what a beautiful center this is. Spice
FM's always tuned in. But I think one criticism for Spice FM, one Spice FM criticism is,
I can take it.
Not with you guys. They need more Bollywood music. I know there's a mixture of Bollywood, but like the 90s, and you know there needs to be more and more Bollywood.
Yaar, why don't you do the program then? Because Ali Mahmood and I do a show on Monday, which you haven't heard, which is going through the times. So he does 40s, 50s, 60s.
Fantastic.
He's doing Pakistani women musicians on Monday.
Yeah.
And also I've told him it's the day General Dyer killed 1,500 Indians, meaning Indians, Pakistani, Bangladesh. It was one India, mainly Punjabis, in the Jallianwala Bagh. So that has to be talked about. We don't just talk about Jewish death. We talk about the partition in India where 1 million people died, 15 million were dislocated. A phone call. Hello, caller. Who's that, please?
Good morning, Doc.
Ifti, welcome. A minute and a half because
if he's called to sing a song, I think.
No, I haven't. I think last time you sang a song in the studio, if I remember rightly, somebody else rang in and you fell off your chair.
Because they admired it. Dipu, and we have only about 3 minutes, so.
Yeah. Just very quickly, you just touched on the Jallianwala Bagh massacre, Doc. Unfortunately, or fortunately, I'm not sure. Many years ago, 1988, I was involved in a play that was performed at the Newcastle
Gulbenkian studio.
And I unfortunately drew the short straw and.
Yaar, itna humble number no. You are the best looking and the best actor. Aage bolo.
No. I had to do the role of General Dyer.
Oh my God, you did. I'll shoot you on Monday.
So don't kill me on Monday.
No, I won't kill you on Monday.
I just wanted to say something about the fantastic thing that you're doing Dipu and Doc yourself in terms of supporting that the I Am Safat campaign. I just want to ask a quick question.
Bolo.
We've done the petition, Dipu, as you know, the petition's gone around. You've sent it around everywhere. We've all done the petition. What more can we do as individuals?
Okay. Can I answer part of that question? I'm prepared to take that petition to the Hindu temple and get people to sign. I'm definitely prepared to take it to the Gurdwara because they really support people, and enhance that petition. Humka copies though, I'll take it tomorrow. My God.
Right. Well, if you can get copies out to people, I'm sure.
And I can take it to Sanam at the Pakistani Cultural Society, and they can do on their letterhead. And I'll ask our lovely friend Sunny Vadera to sign a separate one. So.
Yeah, I think, and if from my point of view, look, I've launched the petition, and for me, that's that, and I can only do something.
Yeah, you're the instigator.
No. But I think likes of yourself and others, really need to.
No, I'm very glad your phone.
I can't just do it myself. It's a community thing. It's a community effort.
People need to know. People need some kind of steer. They need to know what they can do.
We're having a meeting. We're having a meeting soon.
They need some steer.
Okay, Dipu and I are going to make a film with the mother and the child, if possible, and at the graveyard to go and film everything. Dipu can do a commentary on it.
If you quickly, we are going to have a meeting soon because we had to launch a petition ASAP. But the second is, fundraising. There's another issue we need to fundraise for the family. The fees we need to pay for the court. By
the way, I hear against all objections, I'll tell you, Liaquat Latif, thank you very much for taking the case on pro bono. He's not charging a penny. I know you don't want it said, but I will say it. Thank God for people like you.
Exactly. And, and the second thing is, if he is, we need to do community campaigns. So maybe the West Hill Primary School need to do some campaign with the children.
Yes.
So there's going to be a broad range of campaigns. Yes. We just launched a petition now, but if it'll be great if you can input ideas or ask others what to do next.
Because if you're going to have a meeting, let me know when it is.
Of course.
Count me in, and
okay.
we can all right. I can put some of my ideas in.
I promise you'll be the first to know.
Okay.
You will be the first to know.
Okay. Thank you very much, Ifti.
Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
जो वादा किया वो निभाना पड़ेगा रोके जमाना चाहे रोके खुदाई तुमको. I can't sing today.
Yeah, it's not bad. I'm looking at Pradeep Kumar's face. He's also Bengali, and you are singing. It matches. Okay. Well, thank you very much for the lovely show. And I'm sorry.
I haven't sung for a long time, Doc. So
it shows. It shows. So let's meet up quickly. Do a visual documentary. It'll be on YouTube. It'll be on Facebook.
Okay.
And tomorrow, let's do this stuff.
Excellent. Okay, let's do it.
आवाज दी है जाने हया जाने अदा छोड़ो तरसाना तुमको आना पड़ेगा जो वादा किया वो निभाना पड़ेगा ये माना हमें I'm a disco dancer I am a disco dancer
A very good afternoon to you. This is not Mithun Chakrathi, but his body alike, younger version, Dipu. Welcome to the studio, Dipu. Hi.
Good afternoon, Doctor.
Come on.
Yes. Balo.
Onek Balo. Tell me, you're quite a character, you know. I like you. Do you know I like you? You speak as it is. You're not scared of nobody. A lot of people hate you. And I love that. You know, nobody kicks a dead dog. If everybody likes you, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah.
But if people hate you, you have a spat-on thing about George, what's his name? Galloway. You know, you have your own personality. You're not just stuck in the Labour Party or the Bengali group or the Mussalman group. Or you are yourself. Like I say, how are you such a personality?
I'm not going to be obsessive over a party. You know, I believe in the Labour Party.
You do.
I don't believe in everything in the Labour Party. I don't believe some of the things they've done in the past. And I don't believe in some of the things they probably do in the future. But
you're not proud of Tony Blair, for instance.
No, I hate Tony Blair.
But this is the thing, you know, despite being in a party, you still have a personality.
Do you know what? There's too many politicians are trying their best to become politicians. And they're losing themselves. You are elected by the people, and before elections, people are human beings.
Yes.
You know, before being a politician, you're human beings, and people lose that once they become politicians. I'll actually give you an example. About 3 years ago, there was this young guy, a couple of years younger than me. He just became a councillor in Newcastle, and you know, very humble, nice guy. And I said to him, look, somebody like me is always going to be on the fringes of the Labour Party because I speak my mind. But I'm not going to be arrogant about it. You know, what is the truth is truth. I'm never arrogant. Every night when I go home, I reflect and think, have I done anything arrogant today? Because one thing I do hate is arrogance. So
because that blocks you from people. It really blocks you.
I do not like arrogance. I hate arrogance.
I think this is me.
Yeah,
ahankar.
I do not like that. So I said to him, look, you know, don't lose yourself in politics. Be who you are. Don't lose, because too many times people are losing themselves in politics. And he understood. A couple of years later, I see the same guy so obsessive with the Labour Party, so obsessive about politicians.
He forgot himself. He sold his soul to the Labour Party.
It's how he can develop himself in the party, how he can come up the ranks. And to be honest,
so he became a professional politician.
These people never last long.
Because it's not coming from the heart, it's coming from the brain.
I'll give you an example. Tony Blair is probably one of the most hated figures you know, around. Some people still like him. A lot of people still like him, but he's hated for what he's done. But people like Tony Benn, who died last year, a real
another
socialist.
Tony, but completely different level of person.
In the past, he was probably in the cabinet and high ranking. But then when his views changed, he was on the fringes. But people remember Tony Benn, or you know, even after he's dead, for the right reasons. Too many people, Doc, losing themselves in politics. You know, you see all these debates on Facebook. I try to stay away from a lot of these debates on Facebook.
It's not hate, it's jealousy.
I know. And
Jalte hain. There are a lot of people on Facebook who are always having spat with you. I won't name names. But they are small people. They are Facebook warriors.
Exactly.
Real life mein to kuch karte nahi hai. They never do anything. They're just sitting on Facebook 24 hours a day.
Walk in my shoes for one day and you'll see what it's like. I'm hated by the far right, the likes of the EDL, the fascists. But I think, you know, I'm happy that I know I get a lot of respect from people who understand me and people in my community, in my ward. I get a lot of respect.
Come in. Have you met Risaria?
No, but I have spoke to her.
Hi, Risaria. Come on in.
Hi, good to meet you.
Sit yourself down.
I just heard what you were saying and I wanted to come in.
Oh, come join us.
And
Put headphones on.
I did call you back and your phone kept engaged. That was last week.
So Risaria is a lady who's very keen on world peace. She ran the World Peace Conference last year. And she was one of the few. Yes.
So did I offend you when that's why you come in? Green Party.
But yesterday you said I can't do the zip wire because my nail is hurting. You are bloody funny, like. My nail is hurting. So I'm getting altitude sickness. I mean, 18,580 feet is different from 350 feet, like. Because, see, if you lose your sense of humor, your ego comes up. If you can make a joke of yourself, which is something very English. In the East, we are very kind of, oi, ki bolcho, hey, khamosh. Yeah.
Doc, you know, as I said, you know, too many people losing themselves. Be who you are. So I think a lot of times I am looked upon by the inner circle as a problem.
Good. Badhayo, congratulations, Mubarak.
It doesn't bother me. There was a time when I used to, you know, when I first got elected, so I have to please everybody. Now I just think, look,
I am me.
I need to do what is right. And even if that makes me a hated figure, I am probably one of the most hated figure in probably the Northeast. I'm not exaggerating.
Can I tell you something?